Hi everybody, Paul here from StockTrim, and in this video we're going to go through the forecast groups feature set. This is a really versatile feature because it allows you to forecast for any group of products, any product range, category, brand, supplier, or any custom group of products so that you can see the totals of that group. It's also very useful if you have a product range that turns over regularly, like every season, where last season's products are discontinued and replaced by new ones. Since the forecasts are based on the sales history, forecasting at the individual SKU level is awkward for these new items with no sales history. So with this feature, you can group all existing items into a product range, then use the total forecast for the whole range to then split the forecast into each of the individual new items. So the first thing that you do is go under Settings, and then go down to Features, and enable the Forecast Groups feature set. You can then see on the order plan that there's a separate tab for View by Forecast Group. So let's go through an example. So this demo data is from a hypothetical electronics wholesaler, but the same scenario would be similar for any business that has product ranges that turn over every season. So a clothing retailer might want to get a total of all jackets, for example, and even then split them out by size or style. But here we're going to create a forecast group for all 65-inch TVs. So the easiest way to do it is to search for them on the order plan under the SKU view that we're on now, and then click Add Items to Forecast Group. Then create a new one. You can then add individual items individually, but we're just going to add them all and then done. So now under View by Forecast Group, you can see the forecast group that's been created for the 65-inch TVs here. So the figures here, like the total stock on hand and the forecast demand, are the total of all 65-inch TVs from all of the individual items. You can then bring up the demand analysis to see the sum of all sales history of all items, which is then used to make up the forecast for this product range. You can also see that the sales history table includes all sales history from all items in the group. You can also go back to the SKU view or open it up in another tab. And then you can filter by this forecast group. You can see here that there are some items here with no sales history, so we need to be able to forecast these. Let's also say that there's a few discontinued items. So let's make the LCD TVs here discontinued. So the best way to do that is to go into Forecast Groups, Admin, and selecting them. So select those as discontinued there and save. Then if you go back to the forecast group on the order plan, you can create a purchase order. So this will then populate the suggested order quantities for each item in the group. So this is based on the total recommended order quantity for the group and is then split proportionally over every individual item in the group. So you can see that the items that already have a large amount of stock are suggested at 0, and items with fewer ones in stock have a larger suggested order quantity. They all add up to the total order quantity for the group. You can also see the ones that we made discontinued are no longer here, and the two new items with no sales history now have suggested order quantities. So if you go back here to the order plan by SKU, so these two items here have 0. You can see, but under the forecast group order plan, those two items now have suggested order quantities. You can then create a purchase order from here, which then goes back and creates a purchase order for every single supplier. The purchase orders are then covered in another video. You can also administer the forecast groups from the forecast group admin screen. So you can add, remove, and edit them. You can also add or remove items from a forecast group. So you can just go add there, select any item that you want, and go add, which will then add it there. And you can remove as well. So that's all fairly self-explanatory. But then the one thing to remember is once you've done that, you then have to go back to the order plan and view by forecast group and recalculate the forecast groups. So then your changes will have effect. So then we've gone over the overview for the forecast group features. If you've got any other queries, please get in touch with us at support@stocktrim.com or refer to our FAQ. Thanks.